Yo, y'all bring us all together. I remember when we were strong together. Wonder back then if we knew one day we fall together. How good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity. Through all the scrutiny, overcame, remain a community. Beauty to see, always anointed. It's like the precious ointment upon the head of Iran, or residue of Hermon that descended upon Mount Zion. Living blessings forevermore. It's about that time. Let's go.
Say, blessed is the nation that gathers until the mighty Yahweh as the people been scattered. Until our pride drop as the dude that ran down Aaron's beard. We Yahweh's weapon of war when all together we spears. Let's cry aloud, exalt the Holy One in heaven. Return to his laws, statutes, and judgments. Our only message, we pay reverence to his sanctuary. Praise Yah at all times until his messengers will see eye to eye. Oh, how good.
How good, how good is it when all of us can dwell together in unity? How good is it when all of us can dwell together? Ooh, it's like the ointment upon the head that run down, even on Aaron's bed. It's like the ointment upon the head that run down the skirt of his garments. It's like the dew that they send from the hills of Mount Zion. The dew, UNITY forevermore. Unity is life forevermore. I remember that first day I walked into that brown building. I remember the first day, that's where I get my spiritual healing. I remember hearing Dawid and the 12 tribes bringing fire. Who would've known it 10 years later I'd be singing higher? You got there at 3 o'clock and it was standing room only. My heart just leaves my soul because that building now so lonely. Members Zebulon and Absalom and Hezekiah, Ema Peora, Mother Mary, can't forget Tobiah. When 4 o'clock came, Moray Alicia at that top door. Brother Dan and Elder Dinah, my spirit getting fed more. But then we went and split that. I pray that we can get back the unity in Cincinnati, man. I swear I missed that. Come on, like how good is it when all of us can dwell together in unity? How good is it when all of us can dwell together? Whoa, it's like the ointment upon the head that run down, even on Aaron's bed. It's like the ointment upon the head that run down the skirt of his garments. It's like the dew that they send from the hills of Mount Zion. The dew, UNITY forevermore. Unity is life forevermore. Forevermore.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Up. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. And let Yahweh be magnified. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome to another beautiful broadcast of Nothing But the Truth. I am Morey Ishah Yisrael from the house of Yisrael, located at 2330 Kemper Lane in Cincinnati, Ohio, here to bring you nothing but the truth. And we'd like to say shalom to all of our listening and internet audience, for we know the only reason you have tuned into our program is because of your great love and fear toward the mighty Yah. And who is this Yah? Yahweh is the creator of the heaven, earth, and sea, and all that therein is. Yahweh is the only judge, the only lawgiver, the only King and the only Redeemer and the only Savior of Israel in the world. Yahweh is the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, or as you may know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Yahweh is the one that has raised us up to bring you his words of truth, so that's what we will do. And praise the mighty Yah, we will be continuing with our series on the testimonies of marriage. For Yahweh has provided for us his word so that we may be able to see just how awesome and magnificent his witnesses are. In the book of Isaiah, it says to the law, in the book of Isaiah, the 8th chapter, the 20th verse, it says to the law and to the testimony, if thou speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. And since Yahweh has left testimonies on record in dealing with marriage, then these testimonies are light into marriage. If you want to see how Yahweh wants us to use and walk and be married, then look at the testimonies that he has left for us. For marriage is the most important relationship you will ever involve yourself in. And Yahweh has married his people, meaning he has joined himself unto us. And we are joined unto him through covenant. And you will join unto your spouse through covenant. And this is the foundation and the basis and the beginning of all families of the earth, marriage. We've dealt with marriage, part 1, and looked at the testimony of Adam and his wife, Hawa, or Eve. We've looked at the testimony that Yah left on record with Adam and his wife to establish oneness, that man should not dwell alone, and that man and wife should be one. For it is not good for man to be alone. For if one fall, the other can bring them back up. It's not good for man to be alone. And it is necessary for them to be one. As it says in Amos 3:3, can two walk together, lest they be agreed? And of course not. We also would see the testimony of marriage dealing with Abraham and his wife Sarah. For Yahweh said that Abraham is a blessing. He said to Abraham, you shall be a blessing, and you shall bless the earth, and all the families of the earth shall be blessed in you. And whoso blesses thee shall be blessed, and whoso curses thee shall be cursed. And Abraham was a blessing. You would see this blessing that was upon Abraham throughout his life, and also his wife. Sarah was not only a blessing along with Abraham, she was a blessing to Abraham, as Abraham was a blessing to his wife and his house. They were a blessing as one, they were a blessing. And not only just to others, but they was a blessing to each other. For Sarah blessed Abraham every opportunity that she had. She sought to bless her husband. She blessed him in the request that he made of her, to even say that she is his sister among nations where he feared that Yahweh was not among them. And every time she did this, Abraham was blessed and Sarah was blessed, and they continued to increase in blessings. Sarah was so blessed that Yahweh blessed her with a child even in her old age, who would become a blessing also. And that would show you even the third testimony of marriage, which was Isaac and his wife, Rebekah. And this was the third, for these two were representations of a servant of Yahweh, representations of the messenger of Yah on earth. For Yahweh dealt with Isaac and Rebekah, as you see he deals with his prophets. Their entire marriage was through the inspiration of the Almighty. Isaac was born through the word of Yah, in the sense of Yahweh foretold of Isaac's birth. Yahweh went to his servant Abraham, as Yah said in Amos 3:7. Surely Yah will do nothing but what he revealeth unto his servants, the prophets. And he wasn't going to give Abraham this child without revealing it to him first. And he revealed it to Abraham that Isaac would be born. He even told him his name. And Rebekah was also a servant and messenger of Yahweh. For Yahweh let Rebekah know through his word, because she entreated Yahweh. Not only did she entreat Yahweh, Isaac entreated Yahweh. Isaac and Rebekah were barren for 20 years. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife. Even for them to have children, they had to entreat Yahweh. And then when Rebekah was troubled in her womb, to know about the trouble, she had to entreat Yahweh. And Yahweh answered her through his word and gave her the truth about the two people in her womb, letting her know that there are two nations and two manners of people, two different manner of people in her womb. And the elder shall serve the younger. Meaning he gave Rebekah a prophecy about the destiny and the outcome of not just the children in her womb, but even their descendants, and how their whole existence through their descendants would play out. A major prophecy was given to her, and she knew ahead of time what must be done and who was in her womb. And all of the life of Rebekah and Isaac was through divine inspiration, a testimony to let us know that Yahweh is the one that witnesses between us in our marriage. And if you want to know anything, if you want problems solved, if you got questions, go to the Most High, for he is between you in your marriage. And then we learned of marriage part 4, Jacob or Yaakov and his 4 wives. Yes, his 4 wives, even though modern society thinks that this is some taboo, some illegal practice, Jacob had 4 wives. And the testimony we learned about Jacob and his 4 wives is they represented Yahweh's glory, Yahweh's honor. Jacob and his 4 wives equals 5. And what is the 5th? The 5th represents the honor of Yahweh. But not just that, he had 12 sons. In the 12th, which is also with the sign of 5, represents Yahweh's glory. And Yahweh's glory was shown forth with Jacob and his 4 wives and their 12 sons. For Yahweh put 12 stones in the breastplate for his glory. Yahweh adorned his priests for beauty and glory. And the glory that Yahweh shone through this breastplate was the 12 sons of Israel. And how did this glory come about? It came from Jacob and his 4 wives to show you their purpose in their marriage was to bring forth Yahweh's glory. And do you know the purpose of your marriage? For Isaac and Rebekah, their purpose was to bring forth Yah's message. Abraham and Sarah to bring forth Yah's blessing. Adam and Hawa or Eve to bring forth Yah's oneness. What is the purpose of your marriage? But this is where you will see light for marriage through these testimonies. And today we're going to look at marriage part 5. So you know we're still going to be dealing with something glorious, something honorable, something blessed, because we're dealing with the 5th part of marriage. And who is the 5th married couple that Yahweh has put a testimony in the earth for us to see? And what does he want us to see in this 5th part of marriage? Well, let me show you what it says here in the book of 1 Samuel, even the 1st chapter. In 1 Samuel, the 1st chapter, the 1st verse reads, "Now there was a certain man of Ramoth Aim Zophim of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jehoram, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephrathite. And he had 2 wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children." Again, another marriage in which a man has more than one wife. And the testimony is not that man should have more than one wife, but you see Yahweh is using even men like Abraham, who had more than one wife, Jacob, who had more than one wife, and now Elkanah, who had more than one wife. So it couldn't be some evil, wicked, destructive, abominable relationship if Yahweh is even going to bring forth light from this relationship that many people, men and women, believe is a grave evil in the world. Nevertheless, he had 2 wives. One was Hannah, and the name of the other Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship, to sacrifice, to worship and to sacrifice unto Yahweh of hosts in Shiloh. And why Shiloh? Because at this time, that's where the Ark of the Covenant was. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priest of Yahweh, were there. And when the time came that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and her daughters portions. But to Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but Yahweh had shut up her womb. And her adversary also provoked her grievously, for to make her fret, because Yahweh had shut up her womb. And why? Why was her adversary, which I see is a spirit that was provoking her, meaning every time they went up to the house of the Most High, she became vexed when they were sitting and celebrating and worshiping as a family, and everybody else was there with their children, but she didn't have any. And so her spirit was vexed and was grievous, and she fretted because her womb was shut up. And as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of Yahweh, so she provoked her. And yes, it says she, and many people may think that this was a person. But as I say, it doesn't tell you this was a certain person. It said her adversary. And many want to say that her adversary was Elkanah's other wife. But you would be assuming that that was her adversary. This was this man's family. And why would their family be adversarial towards one another? You just don't read that in the scriptures, that families were just adversarial toward one another in this manner that you believe that it was. No, this, and when they are adversarial towards one another, you'll read that. But this is letting you know it was her adversary, not her sister, not her family, but her adversary. And this adversary, which when you read that, it'll say affliction. So it was her affliction that was grieving her. And her affliction was that she had no sons, no daughters, no children. She was barren. And so she was provoked. Therefore, she wept and did not eat. Verse 8, then said Elkanah, her husband, to her, Hannah, why weep thou? And why eat thou not? And why is thine heart grieved? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? Meaning, why are you so distraught? Ain't I as good to you as 10 sons? And of course, he might have been very good to her. Yet, she wanted to be complete. She desired to fulfill her purpose as a woman, which was to bring forth a seed unto the Most High. For that's one of the purposes of marriage, to have a holy seed, to fill the earth, to be fruitful, and to multiply. And she wanted to have this holy seed, yet she didn't have it. So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by the post of the temple of Yahweh. And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto Yahweh, and wept tearfully. And I want you to notice that she did not lash out at her husband. She did not lash out at her family. She didn't scorn the Almighty. She didn't scorn her husband. She didn't scorn her mother for giving her bad genes. She wept tearfully and prayed unto Yahweh, like her mother Rebekah, like her father Isaac. She cried unto Yah. And she vowed a vow, meaning she made a vow. She sacrificed. She put something on the line. She vowed a vow and said, O Yahweh of hosts, if thou will indeed look upon the affliction of thy handmaid. Let you know her adversary was her affliction. Look upon the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thy handmaid, but will give thy handmaid a man child. Then I will give him unto Yahweh all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. Now, what kind of person does this? Her affliction, her adversary, was that she was barren. And why was she? And so since she was barren and that she was saddened all this time that she couldn't have any children, why would she sacrifice? Why would she vow to even give the first child out of her womb unto the Most High? Meaning she was going to essentially give the child up for adoption into the house of the Creator. Meaning he would grow up under the care of the priest. In the scriptures, you'll see the word Nethanim, and those are servant, temple servants. There's people that dedicate themselves to serve Yahweh in his house. They're not Levites, but they want to do whatever they can in the house of the Most High. And they'll be there day in and day out, serving Yahweh in his house. If they could sweep the floors, they might not be able to touch the holy articles as the Levites, but they can do other things in the house of the Most High. And Samuel, she dedicated him, her first son, to be a Nazirite. No razor shall come upon his head. Not even would she be able to have him grow up in her house and be her son in her house. She wouldn't be able to see this boy when he gets older and older. And I can imagine the sacrifice that is. To give your son, not just any son, but your first son. And all she wanted was children. And she sacrificed and vowed a vow to give him unto Yahweh, that he would be in the house of Yah all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. And it came to pass, as she continued praying before Yah, that Eli observed her mouth. Now Hannah, she spoke in her heart, only her lips moved, which lets you know that you can pray within yourself. Some people tell you got to pray out loud all the time. No, you can pray within yourself. Yahweh, he hears your heart. She spoke in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore, Eli thought she was drunk. And Eli said to her, and why did Eli think she was drunk? Because Yahweh said, man judges the outer appearance, but I, Yah, judge the heart. So even the priest is looking and saying, oh, she must be drunk. And Eli said to her, how long will you be drunk? Put away your wine from you. And Hannah answered and said, no, my master, I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. I have not drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I have poured out my soul before Yahweh. And you see what she did? She poured out her soul before Yahweh. She didn't pour out her soul to her friend. She didn't pour out her soul even to her husband. Her husband said, why are you sad? She didn't pour out her soul and said, you ain't giving me no kids. You're not giving me no children. Take me to the physicians. She didn't pour out her soul to no one but the Most High, which we can learn from this. Man and woman can learn from this. Pour your soul out to Yahweh. He'll hear you. Pour it out to him. And she poured her soul out before Yahweh. She let Yahweh hear and feel how she felt. He's the only one that can do anything about it anyway. But yet we pour our soul out to anyone with a listening ear. And then they go and tell her all our business. Oh, she barren. Her husband ain't doing it for her. Or whatever. And cause corruption. But she didn't put herself in that position. She poured her soul out to Yahweh. Count not your handmaid for a daughter of Belial, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoke till now. Then Eli answered and said, go in peace, and the Elohim of Israel grant you your petition that thou have asked of him. So he blessed her. And she said, let your handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. And so look, after she did all of that, she wasn't sad anymore. She had trust in the Most High, that Yahweh heard her. Yahweh was going to take care of it. She wasn't sad no more. She wasn't distraught no more. She wasn't hurt no more. Yahweh comforted her because she poured her soul out to the Most High. And she was able to eat. She was able to live. And they rose up in the morning early and worshiped before Yahweh and returned, and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and Yahweh remembered her, meaning Yahweh heard her. Therefore it came to pass, when the time had come about after Hannah had conceived, that she bore a son, and called his name Shemael, which means, or Samuel, which means Yahweh heard, or Elohim has heard, saying, because I have asked him of Yahweh. So he had heard her. And the man Elkanah, and all his house went up to offer unto Yahweh the yearly sacrifice. And this is what kind of family this was. This is what kind of man this was. They sacrificed unto Yah. You see, he did this all the time. This was his custom. He made sure he sacrificed unto Yahweh. And so did his wife. Sacrifice, one of the greatest sacrifices you'll ever read. She sacrificed one of the greatest sacrifices you'll ever read. The only other place you'll read where someone was this willing to the Most High was Abraham. Yahweh told Abraham, go and take your son, your only son, and take him up to the place where I will show you and sacrifice him there. And Abraham rose up, got his son, and did exactly what Yahweh said. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And Abraham strapped his son down, tied his son down, and lifted up the knife. And only because of the angel of Yahweh did he refrain from slaughtering his son. Because Yahweh told him to do it. Even his only son. And the only other place you'll read where someone was willing to give their child, their first and their only child, to the Almighty is Hannah. And she wasn't giving him to Yahweh as a blood sacrifice, but as and you'll see what she gave him to. She lended him to Yahweh. And Elkanah, the man, and his house went up to offer unto Yahweh the yearly sacrifice and his vow, which shows you this was a man that made vows unto Yah. And you see Hannah made a vow unto Yah. So they understood this testimony of Adam and his wife, who were one. This is what the fashion of this house was. We are dedicated to the Most High, that we go sacrifice to Yah. We vow to the Most High, and we honor these vows. We honor these sacrifices. But Hannah went not up, for she said to her husband, I will not go up until the child is weaned, and then I will bring him, that he may appear before Yahweh and there remain forever. And Elkanah, her husband, said to her, do what seems good. Do what thou seemest good. Meaning, he didn't stress her like, nah, my house going up to sacrifice. And that's what you coming to. No, he's like, okay, do what's good, what seems good. If that's what you committed yourself to do, then do what seems good. No issues. A peaceful relationship. Even though he had 2 wives. Even though he had more sets of children. He wasn't, they didn't have this unrest in their household. They was one. They knew what they were to do. They were a family that made sacrifice. They were a family that made vows. Do what seemeth good. Tarry until thou have weaned him. Only Yahweh established his word. So the woman stayed and gave her son suck until she weaned him. And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, with 3 bullocks and 1 ephah of flour and a bottle of wine. And I just want you to note there was 5 items that she took for him. 3 bullocks, 1 ephah of flour, and a bottle of wine. 5 things she took to offer unto the Most High for this offering she was bringing, and brought him to the house of Yahweh in Shiloh. And the child was young. And they slew a bullock and brought the child to Eli. And she said, O my master, as thy soul lives, my master, I am the woman that stood by you here, praying to Yahweh, letting him know, remember me, this is who I am. For this child, I prayed, showing you when I was praying that day, this is who I was praying for. And Yahweh has given me my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore also have I lent him to Yahweh. As long as he lives, he shall be lent to Yahweh, and he worshiped Yahweh there. So this woman and Elkanah, Hannah and her husband, because he had to know, it wasn't like she had a child and she snuck off and said, I don't know where he went. Elkanah had to be in on this too, because they was one. Elkanah and his wife Hannah lent a whole child to the Most High. Samuel or Shemael lent this child to him. That was the sacrifice that she made so Yahweh can fulfill her. And let me show you what happens, and let me show you how Yahweh sees this. Go to Psalms 15:5. In Psalms 15:5, and notice what verse we're reading also, because this is marriage part 5. In Psalms 15:5 says, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So Hannah was one of those saints of the Most High. She went into a covenant with the Almighty. She went into a promise with the Almighty and sacrificed unto him. A whole seed, a whole child, she gave up to the Almighty. This is the way she was honoring Yahweh. Was not this child her substance? And we can learn from her and her husband how they gave to the Most High, how they sacrificed to the Most High. Look at the book of Proverbs, the 3rd chapter. Verse 9 reads, honor Yahweh with your substance. Elkanah, every year by year, and his wife went up to sacrifice to Yahweh and to pay his vow. And when it was time for Hannah to do the same, she did it. They honored Yahweh with their substance, and, which means in addition to, the first fruits of all your increase. This is how you honor the Most High, by showing forth your substance, by showing forth the first of your increase, honoring him, saying, you, Yahweh, are so important, are so major, are so grand in my life, are so big in my life, that what first come from me, I got to give to you. And I'm going to give it to you because I know how you going to do me. But we don't know how Yahweh going to do us. We don't have that knowledge. And why don't we have that knowledge? Because we reject that knowledge. Let me show you what it says in Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter. And this is the knowledge we should have about giving to Yahweh, like Hannah and Elkanah did. In Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter, verse 22 reads, you shall truly tithe all your increase of your seed, that the field brings forth year by year, and you shall eat before Yahweh. That's what Elkanah and Hannah and Peninnah and their family was doing. We going up to Yahweh to sacrifice, to pay our tithes, to give our offering, to give our vow. And you shall eat before Yahweh thy Elohim, in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, of thy oil, and the firstborn of thy herds and of thy flocks, that you may learn, and this is why, that you may learn to fear Yahweh, your Elohim, always. If you do this, you're going to learn to fear Yah. And how are you going to learn to fear Yah? Because Yahweh, he's not an Elohim for naught, meaning we don't serve him for nothing. He never said to serve him for nothing. Yahweh never went to any of our ancestors and said, y'all serve me and you're not going to get nothing out of it. When he went to Abraham, he said, you're going to serve me and I'm going to be a blessing. You're going to be a blessing. I'm going to make you a blessing. Those who bless you shall be blessed, and those who curse you shall be cursed. I'm going to make you a blessing, Abraham. I'm going to be your Elohim, and you will be my son. Your children will be my people, and they shall get the land of Canaan. Meaning Yahweh allowed us to serve him, and he gave us things. He gave us blessings. So when you fear Yahweh, when you give unto the Most High, he's going to return to you. And Elkanah and Kana knew this. They were blessed because of it. How you think he went up to the house of the Most High every year and was able to give a sacrifice and was able to pay this vow? Because he was blessed, because he learned to fear Yah. He knew Yahweh would give to him. It's a give and a return. Yahweh does this, and you're going to see this. But this is what you learn to do. You learn to fear the Most High, because when you see how much he blesses you and returns to you, you're going to fear him. You're going to be amazed. You're going to stand in awe. You're going to say, only by Yah have I been so rewarded, so blessed. But we don't know this. We worried about our substance. Well, if I get this to the Most High, what am I going to have? And because we know we can't even talk like that about Yah out loud, we say, I shouldn't be paying no tithes. I shouldn't be giving no offerings. This not the temple. This not this. This not that. That's not this. Your tithes is food. And I love hearing people say that, oh, tithes is food. Well, where the food at then? Where's the 10th of your food? Are you sending the 10th of your food? No. Well, we can't give tithe because we not in our land. We can't give an offering because we not in our land. Well, the Most High doesn't agree with you at all. He shows us that if you sacrifice to him, and if you offer unto him, and if you pay your vows unto him, he will surely, surely bless you. But let's look what Yahweh says about all this. Even in the book of Psalms, Proverbs, the 19th chapter. In Proverbs, the 19th chapter, you're going to see what lending unto Yahweh does for you. Elkanah and Kana and Penina, this family, they repeatedly gave sacrifice to the Most High, repeatedly paid vow before the Most High. And Kana gave the most major offering sacrifice that you see in the scriptures. From my understanding, there's only 3 places you read about people offering up their children. One was Abraham. And Yahweh said, no, I'm not going to take your child from you, but I did need to see if you was willing to serve me in all costs, in all ways. And yes, he was. And then you'll see Jephthah. He made a foolish vow and said, I'm going to give you the first thing to come out my house. And you know, if you got children and wives or husbands in your house, the first thing that come out your house could be your own blood. And Yahweh don't accept human sacrifice. Therefore, he made a foolish vow. But then you see Hannah, she didn't vow to kill her seed, but to dedicate him to be a servant of Yah, even a Nazarite who would not have a razor come upon his head. He would be dedicated to serve in the house of the Most High, to be raised by the priest. She dedicated her child to the Creator in this way. And this was of the greatest offerings you can give. And and Eli said, you have lent unto Yahweh. And in Proverbs 19, and just take note that 19 bears the sign of 5, or is in the order of 5. It says in Proverbs 19, verse 17, he that has pity on the poor lends unto Yahweh. Again, when you give unto the Most High, you doing something righteous. So not only if you do something like Hannah and Abraham, but if you give to the poor, say he that has pity on the poor. You see the poor in their state and you give them money. You see the poor in their state and you give them food. You give them clothes. You help them find shelter. You pray for them. You do things for them that they need that maybe they too afflicted to get for themselves. And when you do that, you lend unto Yahweh. And that which he has given, will he pay him again? If I want to be paid back by anybody, it's the Most High. Because I know he going to pay me back. I can't trust not a soul to pay me back. But Yahweh, he will pay me back. And if you lend to the Most High, he's going to make it good. And how does Yahweh repay you? Just look how Yahweh repays you, because, and this is how not only this is how Yahweh repays you, this is how Yahweh wants you to repay. When somebody takes something, especially when it's holy, then you got to give it back in a certain way. There's got to be a certain way Yahweh wants that thing back. And he's also going to pay you back this way. And this is all involved in this testimony of marriage, the 5th one. And why? Because they honored the Most High with their substance. And how did Yahweh honor them? Look at this. In the book of Exodus, the 21st chapter. Look what Yahweh, I'm going to establish a couple things. I'm not going to go through all the scriptures I got, but I'm going to show you about 3 witnesses to establish this thing. In Exodus 21 and verse 1, it says, now these are the judgments. I'm sorry, not the first verse, but let's look at the 22nd chapter of Exodus, the first verse. It says, if a man steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. Why 5 oxen for an ox? Because this ox is a major thing. You done took 1 ox, you got to give 5 ox. He want 5 of them. Not just with the oxen, no. Look also in the book of Leviticus, the 5th chapter. And I am going to tell you why Leviticus, the 5th chapter. We dealing with marriage, part 5. In Leviticus, the 5th chapter, we're going to begin in the 15th verse. In the 15th verse, it reads, if a soul commits, we'll start at the 14th verse, just so you know who's talking. And Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, if a soul commits a trespass and sins through ignorance in the holy things of Yahweh, then he shall bring forth his trespass unto Yahweh a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with thy estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make amends. This is how you make amends when you sin through ignorance of the holy things. He shall make amends for the harm that he has done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it to the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven of him. And why the 5th part? What does the 5th represent? The 5th represents a blessing. The 5th represents an increase. The 5th represents Yah's not just blessing and increase, but also this is how you honor him. You did something through ignorance, you trespassed, well, now honor him with your substance and give him the 5th part. Give Yahweh the glory. But even look in chapter 6 of Leviticus. In chapter 6 of Leviticus, verse 5. Or all that about which he has sworn falsely. Let me start at the 4th verse. Then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he has deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered to him to keep, or the lost thing which he found. Talking about when you commit a trespass and you even know of it. Verse 5, or all that about which he has sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, meaning whatever was taken, however much it was, whatever was trespassed, and however much that equal to, is the principal. You shall restore that, and shall add the 5th part, more thereto, and give it to him whom it belongs in the day of his trespass offering. Why? Because that's how you give the blessing. That's how you give back the increase. That's how you honor the Most High in the 5th. That's how you do that. That's how you give Yah the glory. That's how you show Yahweh his honor. Yahweh didn't pick the 5th just because, that really oppresses you if you did something wrong. It means something. It means you're going to honor this. It means you're going to put a blessing on it. You're going to put this honor in this thing you're doing. Show forth your righteousness. And I'll show you two more places. Leviticus, the 22nd chapter. I already showed you 2 witnesses, but I'm going to show you 2 more. Leviticus, the 22nd chapter, the 14th verse reads, and if a man eats of the holy things unwittingly, it's holy. This is how Yahweh deals with holy things. Then he shall put the 5th part thereunto, and shall give it to the priest with the holy thing. So if you ate a holy piece of bread, then you got to restore it to the 5th part. That means the bread plus the 5th. You got to restore it that way. Why? Because you got to put honor on this thing. You got to show forth honoring Yahweh with your substance. And last, I'll show you another place where Yahweh requires this 5th. And we don't want to hear about this part because we don't even want to pay the principal. In Leviticus, the 27th chapter, the 31st verse says, and if a man will at all redeem, meaning you going to take back. That's what redeeming is. You taking it back. If any man will at all redeem any of his tithes, meaning you going to take back that 10th. When you give it back, because you got to give it back, he shall add the 5th part thereto. You got to honor the Most High. You can't just take that 10th and not give it back without that 5th. Honor Yahweh with your substance. But what did Yahweh say he did? Yahweh said, if a man considers the poor, has pity on the poor, then he lends to the Most High. Aren't we supposed to, and the Levites, just let me tell you, the Levites are poor. The Levites don't do what everybody else do. The Levites, they got to be about Yah's business all day, all night. They can't go out there and work like Yah. They about Yah's business. They got to be filled up with Yah. And so in our land, in our culture, in our society, Yahweh had them taken care of. It wasn't like today where ministers of the Most High got to run around all day and all night taking care, have a whole job and a whole career out here just like everybody else, and take your phone calls and come to your weddings and go to your funerals and bless your children and bless your house and teach you every other day and all this other stuff that they got to do. Plus, go to work. See, that's how you know we in captivity. That's how you know we ain't in our house. We ain't in our land. Because Yahweh's servants, even the true and righteous servants, are subject to these type of things. Yahweh took care of his people. He took care of the poor. He took care of the fatherless. He took care of the widow. He took care of the Levite. He took care of the stranger. Everybody that was poor, that was lacking, he made sure they wouldn't lack. So now, Hannah and Elkanah, they went up every year to sacrifice, every year to vow. And when Hannah wanted a child, because she was barren, the first child she had, she said, I'm going to consider Yah's house. Maybe Yah's house needs a holy man in there, a Nazarite, somebody dedicated to the Most High, whose hair will not see a razor, a pure child that hasn't been defiled by even the least bit of the rest of the world. I'm going to let him come up in the house of the Most High and do something wonderful for Yah. And that's what she gave. And it says she lent this child unto Yah. And now that means Yahweh received something of another one. And it said in Proverbs, he'll surely pay it again. And how do you think Yahweh paid Hannah and Elkanah? Well, let's look how he paid Hannah and Elkanah. In Samuel, the second chapter of Samuel, the second chapter of Samuel, 1 Samuel. Look at how Yahweh returned and paid again this beautiful offering that Yahweh received from them. Verse 1 of 1 Samuel chapter 2. And Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoices in Yah. My horn is exalted in Yah. My mouth is enlarged over my enemies, because I rejoice in thy salvation. There is none holy as Yahweh, for there is none beside thee. Neither is there any rock like our Elohim. She was given this prayer because he heard her. Talk no more exceedingly proud. Let not arrogance come out of thy mouth. For Yahweh is Elohim of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. So she said this beautiful prayer to honor the Most High in what he did for her. But look what Yahweh gave. And it says in this same chapter, verse 18, it says, but Samuel ministered before Yahweh, being a child, girded with the linen ephod. This is a holy child. Girded with the linen ephod, ministering before the Most High, never a razor, never coming upon his head, given into the house of the Most High from his mother's, weaned from the breast, and given over to the Most High, given to his house. This child didn't go to public school. This child didn't go hang out with the rest of the folks. He grew up under the priest. A holy child. Girded with the linen ephod. Moreover, his mother made him a little coat and brought it to him from year to year when she came up with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice. Meaning they kept on coming with these sacrifices. Don't you see? This is what this family did. This is the testimony that they have. They honored Yahweh with their substance. They sacrificed unto the Most High. She gave him a coat. And Eli blessed Elkanah his wife and said, Yahweh give you seed of this woman for the loan which he is lent to Yahweh. And they went to their own home. You see, again, this lending to the Most High. And Yahweh visited Hannah so that she conceived. And look what she conceived. She bore 3 sons and 2 daughters. And the child Samuel grew before Yahweh. So how many children was she blessed with? She was blessed with 5 more children. Yahweh even gave her the 5th part. He honored her because she honored him. He honored Elkanah and her because they honored him and gave them 5 children because they were blessed, because they increased. And these are real blessings. I'll show you what blessings are. Look in the book of Psalms 127 and just a couple more scriptures and then we'll close out. Psalms 127. Incidentally, it has 5 verses. And let's see what it's talking about. Psalms 127 verse 1. Unless Yahweh builds the house, they labor in vain that built it. Unless Yahweh keeps the city, the watchman wakes yet in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows. And see, kind of, she didn't do that. She just cried her soul unto the Most High. I ain't going to keep on eating this bread of sorrows. Let me just cry to Yah. For so he gives his beloved sleep. Lo, children are a heritage of Yahweh, meaning children are Yah's inheritance. And the fruit of the womb, his reward. The fruit of the womb is the blessing of the Most High. As arrows are in the hand of the mighty man, so are children in the youth. And I can attest to that. That's the truth. I got 5 sons. And my sons getting bigger. They could carry my bags, clean my house. They can do all kind of stuff for me. It's beautiful. You understand? That's great. And I'm not just saying because children do your housework, but you get children, you get help. You get assistance. So you got more, the more children you have, the more what? The more help you're going to have. And you're going to need help. Got a bunch of children running around. You need some bigger children to help with the little children. He said, these children are like arrows in the hand of a mighty man. So are the children of the youth. And what does verse 5 say? Happy is the man that has his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. Meaning, even your children, they'll meet your enemies in the gate. Like, what's up, man? What house you coming to? You don't got to even worry about it, because you have a blessing of children. 5 verses in Psalms 127 talking about children. Marriage part 5 talking about honoring Yah, which is substance. The 5th part is what you give when you take from Yah. You got to give back the 5th part. When you lend to Yah, he give you back in the 5th, because it's a blessing. Look in the book of Genesis, the 1st chapter, in the 20th verse. And what does 20 represent? It represents the order of 6. Blessing on man and beast. I could go throughout this book and show you these blessings. And in Genesis 1, verse 20, it says, and Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. Because the 5th day, Yahweh brought forth abundantly. It's the first time you're going to see all this blessing. You understand? And Elohim created great whales and every living creature that moves on the face of the waters, and brought forth abundantly after their kind, and after every winged fowl after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And look at verse 22. This is the first time you're going to see this word on the 5th day. And Elohim blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. Meaning, on the 5th, he blessed with increase. When you're blessed, you become abundant. And look what it say in Proverbs, the 10th chapter, the 22nd verse. This is what Yahweh say about blessings. Proverbs 10, verse 22. The blessing of Yahweh, it maketh rich, meaning it makes you abundant and rich. You got enough. You got more than enough. Because you blessed, it makes you rich. And he ain't talking about gold coins and dollar bills. He's talking about real riches. And it makes you rich, and he addeth no sorrow to it. That's what children are, a blessing. That's what a wife is, a blessing. That's what it's saying in Proverbs, the 18th chapter. Look what it say. Proverbs, the 18th chapter. Verse 22. Proverbs 18, verse 22. Whoever finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of Yahweh. You want the Most High to favor you. That's a blessing. Elkanah had 2 wives and many children. And what did he do? What do you see that Elkanah and his wives did? They sacrificed. They honored Yah with their substance. And you can learn from this. They knew how to fulfill their purpose of honoring the Most High. By honoring Yah with their substance, and Yahweh in turn paid them again, made them good, and blessed them with even 5 children. That's marriage part 5. The Most High says his children are heritage, and it's a reward. It's a blessing. And the way you get these blessings is honoring the Creator, Because even when you give to the Most High, he'll give to you. And y'all can have this relationship in life. You give to Yah, he give to you. You give to Yah, he give to you. He been giving to you before you even thought to give to him. So it's not like you gave to him first. He gave you life. So we got to give to the Most High. And how do you do it? He showed you how to do it. Sacrifices of righteousness. And that's the last scripture I wanted to show you. Psalms 4. And then we will close. In what verse? I could bet you could guess what verse. Yes, the 5th verse. Psalms 4. Verse 5. It says, offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in Yahweh. Because when you do that, you're assured blessings, you're assured increase, because Yahweh is the only Elohim, and there's none else beside him. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. And we're going to close out our class and our program at the time the evening is upon us with this prayer. Giving all praises, all glory, and all honor unto the mighty Elohim, the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that therein is. We thank you, mighty Yahweh, for this day that you've allowed us to see, even this second day of the week, to praise thy name, to lift up thy name. For there is no name that is as beautiful and holy as thy name. For only in thy name, mighty Yah, that we call upon thee, and we will receive salvation. For in thy name, Yahweh, thou hast created the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that therein is. And in thy name, Yahweh, thou hast said it is thy memorial unto all generations. Thou art Yahweh, the Elohim of Abraham, Ishkak, and Yaakov. And we praise thee this day, thanking you for this day and for thy great mercies and truth that you've bestowed upon thy people and even the world. We thank you and ask of you and beseech you and plead and beg that you please forgive us for our iniquities, transgressions, and sins. That you please, mighty Yahweh, heal thy people, Yisrael. And that you please, mighty Yahweh, save thy people, Yisrael. For we need you, mighty Yahweh, for thy deliverance, especially for thy deliverance, so that we may see thy salvation. For there is none else beside you, and there is none but you. We praise you, Yah, and you alone, by saying hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous, Yah is holy, and let Yahweh be magnified. And until tomorrow, Yahweh loves you very much, and so do I. Shalom.
With all of my heart and all of my soul, with all of my mind, I won't let go. I hold on to ya. 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 No matter how dark it get, or when my heart start to trip, I hold on to ya. Even when I'm in fear, or even when the car flips, you know I hold on to ya. Just take it from me, give them all your love and walk faithfully, and just hold on to ya. When the bottle, the weed, and shorties don't feel your lust, we just hold on to ya. With all of my heart and all of my soul, With all of my might, I won't let go. I hold on to ya. 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 Through all the wins and the losses, lynchings, beatings, and the police holocaust. Hold on to ya. For 4 centuries, the refugees, Tuskegee disease, we just hold on to ya. No matter how many die, we remain the apple of Yah's eye. Hold on to ya. Who else been with us through all of our sins? Yah say return again. Hold on to ya. With all of my heart and all of my soul. With all